I think very highly of Knies. He's a great dude, and obviously you love having him on your team, you hate playing against him.
He's on a different level, and he's, kind of showed that. He's such a, a hard worker and a leader on this team. Guys kind of look up to his work ethic and the way he plays the game.
Well, Matthew, I remember talking to you a year ago, almost exactly to the day here at this camp before the draft. How many ways has your life changed since those conversations, since the Leafs took you there in the second round a year ago?
I mean, it's hard to put into words, honestly. It's changed completely. It's really exciting, honestly, to see how far it's come. And, that was a special moment, obviously, to be there with my family. So I'm really excited how it went. And, I got to be at Toronto this past summer for development camp. So that was really cool, really good touch that, I got to meet all the staff there and be able to see the city and participate in that camp.
What do you think it was, Matthew, that just took your game to the next level? Because we could just see it on the ice, just how polished and poised and strong you are. What do you think were those elements that just brought your game to the forefront?
Yeah, I think I noticed that, I'm a lot bigger and stronger and faster than other players. So I try to use my, my size to my advantage as most as I can. I don't technically need my hands to do all the work. I need my legs to do it and my size and strength. So, once I was, being more physical on players and using my size to, to kind of dominate, that's when I noticed that I was, making a much more bigger impact on the game.
Different guys develop at different times. Matt maybe developed a year later than other guys, but he's a heck of a player, and our country is very proud to have a player like that.
I think going into my USHL draft year, I was probably one of the smallest guys in the draft. I think I was around 5'8", pretty skinny, and then my U16 year, I put on a lot of weight, maybe 6-7 inches, and that's the kind of year where it took off for me. I kind of kept that skill with me a little bit. Got to keep up with those bigger guys, and then I kind of just added that to my games.
When you think about that jump from, of course, junior Coyotes in Arizona to then the USHL, what a competitive league the USHL is, Matthew. How were you ready for that in terms of what you had done, all the work you'd put in Arizona before then?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, I had a lot of coaches in my corner, so I can't thank those coaches enough back in the junior Coyotes program. Guys like Shane Doan, Mike DeAngelis, Steve Sullivan, those guys were, guys that really made my, game rise and, allowed me to, be successful at the next level.
How amazing is it, Matthew, that when you think about that, certainly mentioning Shane Doan first, the former players that have settled in Arizona after playing for the Coyotes, it's the story of development of hockey in that state, right?
Yeah, I mean, that list goes on and on. I mean, it's wonderful what they're doing with us. I mean, that program's growing, and, I think the game is expanding there too, and obviously with Austin Matthews, being from there, it's definitely grown. The sport's evolving, and it's super exciting to see. I think it's only going to get better. So,
you mentioned Austin Matthews, and of course, I'd read the story about him talking with you as you were trying to decide to go back to the U for one more year or to sign. How important was his advice?
I mean, it was huge. Obviously, he was a big influence on my career. A guy I looked up to for a long time. So to hear him say, to take time and, to develop and, be the best person and player I can be, so that, making that step is easier.
It had to take a lot of strength on your part, Matthew, to not rush into it, right? Because there's the dream. It's an Original Six franchise. Austin Matthews is on the team, and you got that chance to go there, but you had that perspective to say, wait a minute, there's more for me to achieve, right?
Yeah, I mean, we made it to the Frozen Four. Obviously, it didn't work out the way we wanted it to, so that left such a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't want to leave those guys at all, and I thought, how much I developed this year with those coaches, how much I saw myself growing in like a leadership role. I thought that, that could make an even bigger impact on me next year. Getting to talk to all those coaches and, my family members and, kind of get their advice, see what they're thinking. It was really awesome to see how many people reached out and were involved in the process. So it was awesome.
You mentioned your family, of course, and your Slovakian roots. Obviously, you played Slovakia at the World Juniors and then in the Olympics as well. What were the conversations like with your family about what your relatives back in Slovakia were saying and how everybody in the Knies family was celebrating this pretty unique moment in your life?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually really funny because I came home this summer and all my past relatives were there and they were joking about it, how I had the first goal against Slovakia.
Now pass front, shot, score! Logan Cooley feeding Matthew Knies, 1-0 Team USA.
How they were kind of mad at me, but then they were really happy that we didn't get to beat them in the Olympics. So we were joking about that too much, but yeah, no, it was really fun. They were really supportive of me and always staying up and watching those games. I'm really happy how much they meant to me.
The Olympic experience, Matthew, what are some of the moments and memories that you're going to cherish forever?
Walking in the opening ceremonies was something I honestly couldn't believe. You know, walking with that whole group in Team USA, you know, meeting some of those Olympians, it was surreal. I mean, I couldn't believe it, and you know, playing on such a stage against, you know, Team Canada, and you know, they had guys like Eric Stahl. You know, it was incredible. You know, something I'll obviously never forget, and you know, getting the, you know, chance to play for a medal was unbelievable.